Now let's learn how to do the adjusting entry for another prepaid expense, office supplies. So on May 1st, Rexter Incorporated, my favorite company, paid $600 for office supplies. So we just need to do the journal entry now for the purchase of the office supplies. So in the general journal, we put May 1st as the date. And then what are we getting out of this transaction? We're getting office supplies. They're not going to be used up right away, so therefore they have a future value, and we're going to call that asset office supplies. A plus is reminding that it's an asset going up. So in the debit, I'm going to put $600, and then I post the $600 down to the T account, which represents a ledger. And then how did we pay for it? We paid for it with cash. So cash is an asset and it's going down. So I need to credit that asset. And then in our explanation, we say we bought office supplies. Now it's time for the adjustment. Remember, we purchased the office supplies on May 1st. But now it's June 30th. So Rexter Incorporated creates financial statements every quarter. In other words, at the end of March, June, September, and December. On June 30th, at the end of the quarter, the accountant counts office supplies and finds that there are only $400 of supplies on hand. So we need to adjust the account so that the new balance is correct. So according to our T account, we still have $600 of office supplies. Why would it be incorrect? Because every time someone goes and grabs something from the office supply closet, you don't run to the journal and update it. This office supply account is only updated right before the financial statements are recorded. So the accountant looks at the T account for office supplies and finds out that it still says we have $600 of office supplies, when in fact we only have $400 of office supplies. So this balance is no longer correct. So we're going to have to update this account to make it correct before we can do our financial statements. So we need to do an adjusting entry. So we write the date first, June 30th, and then notice it said that when they counted the office supplies, there's a balance of 400. So on my T account, I'm going to write in the balance on June 30th of $400. But remember, the T account says $600. So how do we adjust the account to go from 600 down to 400? We must lower the office supplies account by $200 to get to the correct balance of $400. So in the T account, I place $200 on the credit side. That's the negative side because that represents the amount of office supplies that we used up. So that means in our adjusting journal entry in the general journal, we also must credit office supplies, showing that it has gone down by $200. And then the other account has to be an account that shows that we've used up office supplies. What type of expense would show that? Probably an account called supplies expense or office supplies expense. This company chose to call it supplies expense. The E plus is reminding you that it's an expense and it's going up. So I'm going to create a T account for supplies expense. So on the T account for supplies expense, I'm going to debit it $200, which means I also must debit $200 for supplies expense in the journal. So now our account balances are correct. Office supplies correctly shows the new balance of $400, and we've shown that our supplies expense has increased by $200. Now we just need an explanation for the adjustment. Used up $200 of supplies. So there's one thing that sometimes trips students up on this adjusting entry. It's really important to know that the adjusting entry shows the amount of supplies that you used up. Some students will try to put the balance, in other words, in this case, the $400, they'll try to put the balance in the journal entry, but that would be incorrect. So always, always, always remember, when adjusting office supplies, the amount that goes in the adjusting journal entry is the amount that was used.